Last week, I put my life in the hands of a magic 8-ball, but it didn't go too well for me.
That is bad.
However, today, I decided to switch things up, and for the first time in a while, spend the day exactly how I wanted to. And I already had the perfect idea for the first destination. So this is where I'm starting the adventure today. Basically, not too far from here, there's a massive cave called Thors Cave, which I've never found before, but I want to try and find it today, try and explore it and see how cool it is. So yeah, hopefully I can find it today. I had actually attempted this place before, but I got caught up in the snow that day and never got the chance to go back. But today, the weather was better as I headed down the peaceful country roads towards the legendary cave.
It is.
But despite there being no snow today, I was faced with an entirely different issue, which, yeah, I was totally responsible for.
I definitely wore the wrong shoes today.
No. Nevertheless, I carried on up the massive hill, where I came across a special view waiting for me at the top. Although this view was certainly incredible, I did still have one more issue, as I was actually stood on top of the cave and somehow needed to find a way down.
There's no way I can go down there, especially with these shoes on. But surely I can't take an L this early in the morning. So this is a bit of a conundrum. I don't really know what to do, but I think I'm going to go for it.
Wanting desperately to see the cave, I headed onto a steep path, descending down the face of the cliff. But this path was more of a landslide covered in wet, sloppy mud than an actual footpath, and it's fair to say that I failed to stay on my feet.
I'm not joking. This is the worst walk I've done in my life. I hope it's worth it.
About 15 minutes down this path, I came across a small cave, and I was hoping that this would lead into the big one. But sadly, it was just a dead end. However, immediately after leaving this cave, I found another one.
I hope this goes to Thors Cave. I'll have to go all the way back. Oh boy.
I climbed up towards the big hole, and it's fair to say that it wasn't a simple walk, as my poor shoes, which had already suffered enough today, were now being used for rock climbing. But as I got higher, I realised that I'd made it, as I started to hear voices coming from the inside.
Oh hi. Do you find a different way in?
We came down the step. Well, which way have you come? Down the...
I came like right down, yeah.
so hard.
It's insane.
Yep, I'm an idiot, but the walk has still got me inside, and boy was this cave impressive. Kind of reminds me of the catacombs down here. There's things left behind. The graffiti on the walls. This place is definitely popular. It's still amazing inside here though. Wow.
This place is insane. And that dodgy hike was 100% worth it. So the way that I'm going down is the way that most people come up, and it's legit just stairs. And honestly, it's the easiest walk possible, so I'm not gonna lie, even though it was dodgy, it was also super fun, so I don't regret it at all. Although I did completely ruin my shoes. Like totally ruined. But you know, it is what it is. Time for the next location.
For the next location, I decided to take a journey back in time to an abandoned building which I'd explored before about 5 years ago.
Okay, so guys, today we're going to an abandoned mansion. It looks pretty mental. Let's see how it works, guys.
But being dumb and immature at the time, the video and the explore was no good. So I wanted to give it another chance.
I I've actually come here like 2 or 3 times before, but I've already forgotten how you find the building. So that's not the best start.
Well, there's the first sign of life. Yeah, that's not in the best state. Man, look at the kitchen. This house is just entirely burnt out. That bathroom is the only thing that's actually recognisable up here.
This place is totally knackered. There's definitely been at least one fire here since I last came.
Although the place certainly wasn't pristine anymore, it was actually quite calming and almost felt like a genuine step back into time as I wandered through an area which had sat disused for many decades. With no people about at a place which would have once been thriving, the whole area was just peaceful and picturesque, but also a little muddy. No thank you.
To be honest, I forgot how much stuff there was here. There's the abandoned houses, the abandoned wirework warehouses, and then there's also the abandoned mansion, which I'm now coming up to.
Although there was evidence of security there, the huge and almost 130-year-old mansion was easy enough to access, and on the inside it had hardly changed since I last saw it. Looking like a building that had been bombed out, the building sadly had lost all of its former glory on the inside and was merely a shell of what it would have once been. Every step also felt like I was going to fall through the floor, and sadly, aside from the chunks of wood and the old bricks, there wasn't much left to see. Well, that bathtub and toilet seems to be the only thing left in this place. And an old wine cellar. Man, it's like a secret area down here. In a way, it feels like an old bunker, but I'm pretty sure it was an old wine cellar. It's quite sad that this is probably the best part of the building. But as soon as I left the building, the vibe totally changed as I walked off and found something very weird. How's that happened? A levitating cube. But it actually turned out that this part of the site was actually being used as an art installation, which was kinda cool. Full of old junk and weird sculptures, the exhibition certainly gave the place a little bit more life.
This is so peaceful. Honestly, the last few weeks just been work and study, and I think sometimes it's important to just go out and escape the world, you know, go on an adventure. And because of the whole idea of relaxation, I think I've decided on my third destination.
For the final destination, I was going to ditch the wilderness adventures as I hopped onto a train and headed for the city of York. Said to be one of England's most peaceful cities, full of unique historical architecture, I wanted to check it out. And my first destination was going to be a walk along the city walls. But it was closed. Yeah.
This place is so nice, but also so cold. Like, so cold.
Yep, it was
so
honestly
cold.
so cold.
I am so cold. It's so cold.
And on top of that, the cool places all seemed to be closed today. But it was still insanely peaceful, and the perfect place to escape to and explore. Additionally, with the Christmas lights and the market on, it gave the place a whole new dimension.
This is honestly one of the nicest cities I've been to.
The cathedral was sadly closed, but the local church was equally as nice, and it also gave me the chance to get warm. This might just be the most peaceful spot that I've found all day. Afterwards, I checked out a final part of the city, the small streets which inspired Harry Potter, and are now selling a whole bunch of his merch. All the streets were so picturesque, especially with the Christmas lights turned on, and they really were the perfect place to end the day. Today's adventure was not decided by a taxi driver or a dart or a magic 8 ball.
On the left.
For once, it was just decided by me. It had its challenges, its hidden gems, its successes and its fails. But it was the adventure that I wanted, and within the fast-paced and often stressful lives which we all share, it's important that we all have days like this, to escape into a different world where we can forget those stresses and live our lives exactly how we want to.